And he said the warden pulled me aside and said my mom called to object the wedding the morning of. And I was like, what?
Welcome to More Than Inmate's Girlfriend. I'm your host, Jay, and this week is a recap week. What's that? Basically, meeting him through a TV show. This time around, it's been a few months, and they are now married. But what was that process like? That is what we're going to get into. But not only that, poor Carla had a series of events that happened before, during, after her wedding. And she has come today to speak on what happened. And I guess kind of showcase that not everything goes perfectly always. Families are complicated, whether they're incarcerated or not. And we have to navigate these things sometimes. So we love Carla. She is an awesome human. She's a beautiful soul. Super, super sweet and supportive always. So I know you guys really enjoyed the rodeo episode. I'm sure you're really going to enjoy the wedding episode. The dress, her outfit, the pictures, just beautiful. I think it's rare that we get to say that a prison wedding was beautiful, but she really made it special in ways that a lot of us don't get to do. And I just thought it was really, really sweet. So I hope you enjoy the episode. As usual, please follow our content. We are celebrating. Next week is our 1 year anniversary. Can you believe it? I cannot. But it will be. So please help us by following the show on whichever platform you use and liking the show. Follow us on social media if you can. TikTok at More Than an Inmate's GF. Instagram at podcast_prisongf. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all the love. And like I said, it's only been 1 year and it's been a crazy year. Lots of sacrifices, but lots of well worth it events, and we look forward to another year. Hopefully I'll get AJ on the next episode, fingers crossed, and she can come and open up the next episode. I am so excited for the rest of the episodes for the rest of the year. They're all recorded and they are so good. I mean, I love all my episodes, but they're so good. I'm so excited. And hitting that follow button makes a world of a difference for us. So please hit that follow button and I will let you get on with the show and hear Carla's update. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you so much, Carla, for coming back for round 2. I'm so excited to have you.
You're welcome.
Your wedding happened. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I heard it was an exciting time.
It was all the way around.
Do you want to walk me through the beginning till the end? And please don't forget to talk about the dress, because I loved it.
Yeah, so I found out about May 1st that our wedding was approved, which means that was roughly 2 weeks to get it together.
Oh, wow.
So in those 2 weeks, I had to get a room, board my dog, take off for the whole weekend, and then I had to figure out how to get Joseph's birth certificate because he doesn't really talk to his parents. So how it works in Louisiana is someone of kin needs to pick up your birth certificate.
Right.
I had no choice but to contact his mother. I'm for real. She said, I'll do it for $50.
So, okay, before this, what was your relationship like with his mom?
Before this, for a while, it was good. She was on disability, so she only had a certain amount of money coming in. And the past maybe 7 months, I gave her about $700. Not all at one time.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to help her.
Wow.
Because she would tell me that she was struggling. And she also was Joseph's mother. So I did feel some sympathy there. I wasn't struggling for the money. So I was like, yeah, sure. So I had to get the birth certificate, had to go to a parish in Louisiana the Friday before, get the marriage license, and then drive probably 2 hours to a hotel near the prison. And it's tricky because not every parish will allow you to marry an inmate, not necessarily tell you no, but they'll make it so hard that it's impossible.
Okay.
Not every parish is the same. Some of them have told me, we need him here. We need an ID for him. We need it to be notarized. Until I went to Lafayette Parish and I was able to get a marriage license in the southern region of the state, the northern parishes basically told me, oh, we need to see him in person.
You're in a Louisiana group, no, for prison wives? Isn't this a conversation you would have in there?
Yeah, so when I posted about it, honestly, not a lot of people had answers. The only answers I got were out of Baton Rouge, which is like way south, and I was trying not to go that south.
Okay.
A lot of the people I found out are not legally married, so they couldn't be as helpful as someone who was legally married. So I would say that was the block too. One of the biggest prisons in Angola is known to deny people marriages. So getting married in Louisiana in prison is quite difficult to begin with. So I didn't know this at the time, but a lot of people in Louisiana who are incarcerated get married through proxy, which is like over the phone.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it is recognized in every state. I knew about that a little bit, but I didn't really want to do that way.
Yeah, me neither.
Because we're already so limited with the ceremony, and I feel like that would just take away a lot.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I had to order the dress and expedite it, pay the $12 for shipping, and I did even ask the prison, the chaplain, so you gave me about a 2-week notice. Is there any other dates after that? He said, no, there's not. Who knows when the next date will be?
And then the parish that you went through, they have someone come out to the prison for you?
No, so the prison actually has their own person who will marry you. So you don't have to pay someone to come there.
So then why do you need a parish?
They give you the marriage license. It's like an application by the officiant that the prison has. Then you have to drive all the way back to the parish and drop it off to the courthouse. I have to go back to Tennessee.
Yeah, but you got it done.
I did. There was an option to mail it, but I really don't trust the postal system like that. So I was dropping it off.
Fair. Okay, so then you get all of the stuff done. You have his birth certificate. Everything's good. Where did you get the dress? You ordered it online?
It was so hard to find a dress that would be approved. And it's not the type of thing where you can be like, okay, I'll just go to my car and change real quick, right? Because it's a wedding and you want it to feel like a wedding. So I had to make sure this dress was approved. And I went through so many websites. I even went to wedding stores in person, online. And unfortunately, the wedding industry is not really meant for very conservative dresses. It's either they have sleeves, but it's backless, or it's everything else, but it's strapless. So I Googled conservative dresses, because at this point I was like, I just need it to be white. It don't have to be labeled as a wedding dress.
Yeah.
And then I found this website called Dainty Jewels. It's a website specifically for conservative, certain religious groups like Mormons and Pentecostals. So they had a wedding section.
Okay.
And I purchased the dress. They only had an extra small. And this is like the crazy part. My iPhone had my address defaulted, the address of my ex-husband's house we used to live together. No. And it mailed it to him.
Oh my
and gosh. He texted me and was like, I have a package for you. I was like, okay. I didn't expect it to be the dress that soon. And he left it outside his door because, God forbid, he makes eye contact with me. And I get in the car, I open it up, like, what could this be? It's the dress. I was like, oh my God, I got it.
Oh my gosh. Did he open it? Did he know?
No, he did not open it.
Did he know you were getting married to someone incarcerated?
I actually don't know how much he knows. He's never brought it up to me, never said anything like, oh, I know about Joseph or I know he's incarcerated. He just does not speak on it.
Okay. So then your side of the family, how do they feel about it?
My mom, she was more upset because no visitors were allowed outside of me and Joseph. Her dream to have a big wedding for me. I've had one in the past, but she's like, I really want to do it big this time because my last one was a little small. I'm like, okay, well, when he gets out. So she was a little bummed at that. My dad, he actually does not know.
Okay.
My dad has been a great father, like financially, and he
Wow.
grew up with an old mind that his parents weren't very nurturing to him. They were just there financially, so he carried that on, unfortunately.
Right.
So I just didn't feel close enough to him to tell him.
And then his side of the family, his mom.
Yeah, his whole family knew. Most of the people were excited, like his dad, his sister, his cousins, and his mom even was excited.
Oh, okay.
Him and his mom have had a very hard relationship. She originally sent him to juvie when he was 14, which snowballed into this whole thing. She sent him there for joyriding, so a minor teenager thing. They have a very tense relationship to begin with, but she was like, yeah, I'm happy for you too.
Oh, that's good. It's funny. I wonder when you say that, because I wonder how many parents think that they're doing their kids a favor by putting them in the system to like scare them.
Yeah.
And then they end up just in the system forever. I wonder how often
Right.
that happens.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories, especially those who are juvenile offenders, that they didn't just commit a crime out of nowhere, that they were in the system prior, where they don't graduate school and they just struggle throughout life. I've heard that story quite a bit.
So many times, yeah. Sad. Okay, so then getting ready for the wedding, how was that? Were you excited? How were you feeling leading up to the day?
I got there the day before, and then I just went out to a bar. But I did schedule professional hair and makeup to be done the morning of, because I wanted this to be as free world as possible. So I did all the things. Also, that weekend of, I had a day where I did a bachelorette party with one of my friends, Claire. And we did the whole thing. I wore a white dress there. But in the morning, I still did the traditional thing with the wedding pajamas and the hair and makeup. And I have told the hair and makeup people I'm going to a prison. And they were like, I've never done this before, but I'm so excited to be a part of something like this.
Did you get pictures?
I did.
Oh.
The hair and makeup people who made it not so lonely.
Because you're the only one in the pajamas.
Yeah. And then after that was all done, I have time to go to this coffee shop. And I got there, they had a special, and it said iced wedding cake lattes. So I got one of those. I was like, oh my God, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And then I'm usually late. I drove up to the prison. It's the type of prison where they search your car before you can drive in completely.
Yeah. Right.
So I got out in this wedding dress. I had this headband on too.
Yeah, you looked adorable.
And the guards were like, you look so beautiful.
You did.
You usually don't hear that compliment from them. I'm like, oh my God.
But you were really stunning. And
thank you.
I've seen so many pictures of people getting married, and I've never seen a bride look so good. And like you said, so free world. You looked like a movie star.
I was determined to make this as real world as possible.
Yeah.
And the guards were so nice that day. I was like, wow, this is so sweet.
That's so nice.
Now, I did have to wait like an hour to get into the visiting room for the ceremony. And I'll tell you a fun fact. They had Joseph wait till exactly 1 p.m., the same time you were getting married, to pull him off from the job. So he had about 5 to 10 minutes to pull it together and had to run to the ceremony.
No.
Yeah.
And this is his first wedding, too.
Yes.
So you didn't talk to him that morning? Or did you?
No, we stopped communication the evening before, like the whole tradition.
That's sweet. Yeah. Okay, so 1 o'clock comes around and you're in. How you feeling?
I am so nervous. Also because I was wearing that headband you saw, and headbands are not allowed.
Oh.
And I was nervous. They were going to let me wear it, and they did let me wear it, which was a relief. And people were like, oh, it's just a headband. It's more significant than that. Around 1 o'clock, we're all waiting for Joseph. He gets there about 1:15, and the warden pulls him aside, and they have a chat. And I'm already nervous, and I'm just very excited to go. And so how it works is, unfortunately, it's not your own ceremony. It's in groups. So there was one other couple there, but they do the wedding vows together. Oh. So that's how that works. Yeah.
Okay. You weren't kidding when you said that they take everything away.
No, it's for real. Yeah.
You don't even have your own moment to say I do. Just say it with someone else.
Right. Yeah, they're like, okay, everyone repeat after me.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yes.
So the warden pulls him over and you have no idea why.
I have no idea why. It didn't look like a bad conversation because Joseph's face wasn't really showing any emotion.
Okay.
I thought it was honestly just about how he was late. Right.
Okay. How was the ceremony? How was he acting? What did it feel like? Did it feel right?
Yeah, it did. We held hands during the ceremony, and I could feel his hands shaking. Mine weren't shaking. I think it was just like the adrenaline. I was just on autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
But it was great. It was 5 minutes, the ceremony, but it's much more than other people get. There are places where you got to do it through a glass, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a glass between you, or you don't even see each other at all.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the best visitation moments I could ever imagine. Probably even better than the rodeo.
Wow. And did you feel different because you've been married before?
I did. So each time I was married, just leading up to it, even minutes before, I was like, I'm not really sure. But this time, it was no second thought. It was like, let's go.
That's awesome. I come from a broken home. My parents are divorced. And when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I would ask so many people who were divorced, did you know that your marriage wasn't going to work? Did you know? When did you know? When did you know? And literally everybody says they knew before they got married that it wasn't going to work. But they did it anyway for XYZ.
Yeah, so it's really what I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no.
Yeah. So it's nice that this time you were like, yeah, I'm in.
Yes.
That must have felt good.
Honestly, a new experience, not like while you're getting ready thinking, is this the right choice? It was new because there was no thoughts like that.
But then, of course, it's different in the fact that you have to leave after eventually.
Yes. Yeah, so going into this, they gave me no details, no how long the ceremony was. There was no information on how long the visit was. So it was kind of like every second matters because you never know when they're going to say, okay, that's it.
Mm-hmm. And how long did you get?
So the ceremony was about 5 minutes, and then we got an hour of visitation.
Okay. How did it feel like leaving? Because I have my own emotions around what it felt like. For me, I'm curious how you felt.
So for me, I honestly was not having a mental breakdown or anything. And I think part of that was because I was on adrenaline still. I was still so happy, and even though I had to leave, it didn't really faze me at all. Joseph told me that afterwards, this is the best day of my life. And then he said the realness when they said the visit was over, it did actually hit him, probably harder than me, which I found surprising. He said, I felt sad because I couldn't leave with you.
When did you find out what really happened with the warden?
I found out after we got married. I didn't know it during the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out after we signed the papers, they let us sit at different tables. And me and Joseph sat down, and he said, I just want to tell you I'm so happy right now. I need to tell you something. And I was like, what? So many things was going through my head. And he said, the warden pulled me aside and said my mom called to object the wedding the morning of. And I was like, what?
Awful.
She got me the birth certificate. I was in shock.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you know what my mom said, it doesn't matter to me. I felt sad, though, because Joseph has given her chance after chance because of the motherly bond that you have with your children.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that was the last straw for him. And he said that's an unforgivable mistake. She has screwed me over for the last time.
I feel so bad for him because this is the best day of his life. And
yes.
Then it gets so overshadowed by this complicated relationship with your mother.
He said she's the one who sent him to juvie, and it all snowballed. And then there is a rumor that she was the one who reported him at the rodeo.
Oh.
We cannot confirm that to be true because we'll never know.
Yeah.
But him having that thought and then her doing this, it was a lot. Afterwards, after I left the prison, she messaged me on Facebook, how was the wedding?
That day,
like an hour after this all went down. And I just called her and said, I know what you did. She said, I'm sorry. I need to go to therapy. I'm an awful mother, the guilt tripping type thing. And I told her, I am not your child. I am not the one you should be talking to right now.
What'd she say?
She said, Joseph took me off his call list so he can't even call me. And so prior to this, he did remove her from his visiting and call list because of the rumor going around about the rodeo incident. But when I got the birth certificate from her, the exchange was the $50 and the chance for her to talk to Joseph on the phone. And Joseph and her did talk on the phone when I went to her house, and she was like, I want to make this better. I'm sorry what I've done. Fast forward to the wedding. She does this the morning of.
Unreal. Did you know why she did it? Did she explain herself?
I don't really know why. If you can give me a second, maybe I have the message actually to read it to you. Okay, so here we are, May 19th. I said, the wedding was good. I spoke to the warden. She informed me you called. She said, okay, congrats. And I said, she told Joseph exactly what you said to her. And Deborah says, and? So now you're not going to talk to me? And then she sent me a voice message where she starts crying, like, I'm sorry, I just need to go to therapy. And then the next day, she said, I'm sorry. I'll call the warden to apologize. Do you think I can have $150 for my medicine?
No.
Yeah.
And to me, I would feel so defensive, like trying to protect my husband almost from this. How did you feel?
Yeah. Me and Joseph, we've always said to each other we don't keep secrets, so I do tell him everything word for word.
Yeah, me too.
Right. Right. So how we got to that point, though, was I gave her money. I told Joseph, I need to tell you something, and I don't want you to get mad. And I told him, he lost it.
Yeah. That's tricky because you want to be on her good side because it's your mother-in-law.
It is.
So you're trying to help out. Yeah, you're just trying to keep the peace. I get that.
Yeah, I was trying to be like the mediator.
Yeah.
But then that can get you in hot water. You're trying to please everybody, but then you end up having to lie to people because you can't tell them what's really going on because you're trying to make them get along.
Yeah, it's tricky. What happened next?
After she asked me for the $150, I didn't respond to her, and she asked me 2 days in a row about the money. And I said, I can't do that, which was the first time I really told her no.
Oh, wow.
That was on May 24th. And then I went to see him on the 28th of May. The 28th was a regular visit. All was fine. I told him your mom still asking me for money, but I didn't give it to her. She messaged me on the 27th, are you going to see Joseph? And I check in at 10 a.m., go into the visit like normal, come back out to the car. His cousin texted me and said at 10 a.m. his mother died. I found out when I left, right? So I couldn't even tell him face to face, and I don't get another visit for like 30 days. But his cousin ended up emailing him on JPay.
So pause before we get into this next chapter of the saga of your whole wedding. You asked Joseph these questions as well, correct?
Yes.
So what did he say about the whole wedding and the whole situation?
Okay. When I tell you these are very short answers, it's hard to get things out of him,
Yeah.
especially when it's going to go out to the public.
I can't wait to hear about the dress.
I did ask him about the dress.
Yeah.
And he said, I was the most beautiful thing he's ever seen.
Yeah. How did he think his families felt about it?
He said that my mom's side, it didn't really matter what they thought, but my dad's side loved the fact that we were getting married. Now, he did say that he answered these questions after the event that happened, so that may have been a different answer.
Right. How did he feel about his mom before and after?
He said, I felt sad because my mom died.
Yeah.
I felt angry because she's constantly screwed me over.
So conflicting.
I know it is.
Okay, so let's get back.
So I found out in the car, like after I left, and he told me on the phone, I want nothing to do with my mother. So he said he felt anger and he felt like he wanted to cry all at once.
Did you know the circumstances? Was she sick or was this very much out of the blue?
She had a heart attack, and the way she had the heart attack, they found her right next to our wedding photo on the floor.
How did you feel hearing that?
I felt like I know what's going to happen next, especially from the mother's side, because I didn't know this at the time, but they didn't like me. They didn't really like Joseph either. They think he is not a good person. But when I learned that, I already knew what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that being, you would think they have their own reality TV show because the assumptions and the drama that happens on the mother's side is crazy. The comments are crazy. But I had a gut feeling they are not going to just say this was like end of life heart attack. They were going to try to make it bigger than it was.
And the cousin, is that on his mom's side that messaged you?
No, that's on his dad's side. He acts as like the mediator between the mom and dad side of the family. Joseph's parents never got married, but they had 2 kids. So she just tries to act like the parental figure for both sides of the family, especially to Joseph and his sisters, because Joseph and his sisters have been in foster care, moved around a lot, and the cousin knows this.
Are the sisters in the picture at all?
One sister is. The other sister sided with the mom, and she does not approve of me and Joseph.
So now you obviously knew that a funeral was coming up.
But yes, so here's the thing. The big question in the air was, can Joseph make it to this funeral?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
I'm sure if we had more time, we could have pushed hard enough to make that happen. Fortunately, he could not make it, but his mother's side asked me, can I pay for the transport or we have to pay for it? I said, yeah, that's fine. I'll pay for it. I'm supposed to be like the bigger person. You know how toxic those situations can be?
This is crazy. You just joined the family? Like, are you the money tree? I don't understand.
Because they were like, you're his wife, so it'd be your responsibility.
Oh.
I thought about Joseph. I was like, it's fine. If we can get it done and we have to pay for it, I'll pay for it. They were like, okay, cool. And I said, I feel like the prison's going to need an obituary to prove it. So the mother's side sends it to me, and I'm reading it, and Deborah's children are included. Their spouses are included. And I noticed I'm the only spouse not included. I really was not trying to make it about me. So I said, okay.
You're so sweet. Can I just say that? I mean, you take being the bigger person to an all new level. Angelic.
One part of me, I'm very understanding. But then Joseph called, and I said, the obituary's out. He's like, oh, I want to hear it. I said, okay. And I did not tell him at this point I wasn't in the obituary because I didn't want to cause problems. But he wanted to hear the obituary. I said, okay. So I read the obituary. It says Deborah's kids, right? It says his sister's names and their husband. Then it says Joseph. And I just kept reading because my name wasn't in there. And I go through the whole thing. And Joseph was like, can we go back to Deborah's children, his mother? I was like, yeah. And I read it, his sisters or spouses, and just Joseph's name. And he said, how come their husbands are in there? I said, because you're supposed to put the spouse. It's like respect. When it processed in his head what was happening, he said, I got people I got to call. I didn't even have to say it.
Yeah.
And I guess he got on the phone, had some conversations with his mom's side, with his sisters. It was like this big deal. But I did tell Joseph when he called back, I said, let's just breathe. It's looking like you can't make it. I will go on behalf of you, not for your mother, not for their family, just for you. I'll still do that. I was going to let him talk to his family on the phone so he can kind of be there, talk to people. And honestly, I'm like the youngest person in this situation. Everyone's like late 30s plus. It would have been so easy to flip out at any moment.
Like I said, you take being the bigger person to a whole new level. I don't know that I would have the guts to enter that funeral home. How did you feel walking in?
Yeah, so when I got there, I really thought it was just going to be me who's representing Joseph. And then I get out of the car, and I was surprised the dad's side of the family, they were there. And they said, we're here for you. So I walk in with the dad's side of the family, and Deborah's sister, she runs up to me and says, you have to leave. You are not immediate family. Get her out of here. I just told the dad's side of the family, why don't we just go? It's okay. Because I don't want people to start fighting here at this funeral. That's not proper. The dad's side of the family, like the father's cousins, leave. And then I saw something unexpected. One of the sisters also left, Joseph's sister. She said, Carla's not welcome here, neither am I. And her son left.
Wow.
And I was surprised when the one sister left too. We just went to the dad's side of the family's house. We went out to eat too. Joseph called later on. He was like, how was the funeral? I said, I actually got kicked out of the funeral. And he was like, what? I said, yeah. He said, put my sister on the phone. And it was on speaker, but he was yelling at people, cursing people out. It was crazy.
Listening to the story, it's like twofold for me, because on the one side, there's nothing more telling of the character and the family on the dad's side to, without even question. They didn't ask you. They just came to support someone solely because you are the wife of Joseph. They knew that it could have been a problem. So to me, it's like, what a beautiful way to welcome someone into the family than to do that. It must have been really nice and relieving, and like you felt taken care of when you saw them.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, to have so much hate towards you for no reason. So I don't know why there's so much hate towards you when you've shown nothing but kindness.
All I know is I never really figured out the problem, but they have said they don't like the way we met. They feel like I searched him out and that I caused her heart attack because I mailed her our wedding photos.
Like you did it out of spite, like you wanted to.
Yeah, which is crazy work. A photo is not going to make someone go like that. Yeah. And they basically made it like, oh, Carla took her out by doing that.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the whole thing? Do you understand logically that you had nothing to do with her heart attack?
Yeah, I don't feel like I caused it because I really tried hard for them to get along. And like I gave her the money to make sure she was okay. It was kind of a toxic relationship. And he's also been away from her for 25 years. They're not interacting every day.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like one of those weird narcissistic entitlement situations.
All this in the span of 2 weeks of since you got married.
Yeah.
Talk about the flow of emotion.
I know the one sister, not the one who left with us, the other one, when she found out I was going, she refused to go.
So you didn't even see her?
No, I saw her daughter. Her daughter is about 18. And prior to that day, her daughter messaged me some crazy stuff. Like, it's on site if I see you. Emmy and her daughter came face to face, and her daughter didn't say a word.
Wow, they hate you that much.
Yeah, now her daughter is 18, and we all make 18-year-old mistakes. So her daughter sent me all these bad things about Joseph, about how I am embarrassing for marrying a man who's in prison who's significantly older than me. I really didn't take it out on her. I didn't even respond. It was more coming from the mother because this child, I call her a child because she just turned 18. Yeah. This is learned behavior. Yeah. And I did let Joseph know about this stuff. And I told Joseph the reality here is the daughter didn't make this up on her own. Mm-hmm. It obviously came from a parental figure, and it's probably her mother.
It just makes me so sad because it's so uncalled for. There's no reason to me from the outside as someone who doesn't know anyone. I just don't understand why someone would choose to hate on someone so badly when you're just this sweet person who's done nothing but try and help.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's not that hard for me because I know my true intentions. Yeah. They've gone to the rodeo maybe every 2 or 3 years. It's never been a person who would consistently visit him. In fact, most of these people have not been in a visitation room in over 10 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The fact that these people are saying it and they can't even go visit him in over 10 years, that they'll go to their rodeo because it's fun and it's for them really, but they happen to have seen Joseph that day. It's not so impactful for me because you're really nobody.
Yeah. What's it like now?
I don't speak to the mother side at all, including the one sister. The other actually went with me to a visit a few weeks ago.
Oh.
I met his father a few weeks ago for the first time, too. His dad calls me, and I'm much closer with the father's side of the family. They're very supportive, which I find so strange because usually it is the mother's side who's more supportive. Yeah. Because that's your mom.
Yeah.
And with him, it's opposite.
Yeah. My mom always said, if you have kids, they're my kids. I get directly involved with you. But like my brother's kids, they're not hers because they have a mother that's not related to my mom. So she's like, I always feel like it is really the mother's side that usually takes on the kids because of that.
Your son is your son until he takes a wife. Your daughter is a daughter for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Has this affected you and Joseph, this whole thing?
Drama with the mom side hasn't. We didn't really let it interfere with anything. And I think that's also because I didn't walk into a perfect family here.
Yeah.
There was problems. It was very toxic with the mother side before I even came into the picture. And this was just the final straw.
How does Joseph feel when you were asking him these sets of questions? What were from his words, his perspective?
He said that when he talked to his mother's side after the funeral, because Joseph had something to say, he said, I put some of them on a call list temporarily because I had something to tell them. And he said to them, if they don't like my wife, then they don't like me and I don't accept them. Said it came to me that day when the funeral happened that these are not godly people. Now, me and Joseph, we're both Catholic, so we both pray a lot. He was not born and raised Catholic. He became Catholic in prison, and I'm what you call a cradle Catholic. So we have bonded over that because I'd never met someone who converted when they were over 18. He said to Jesus and Mary and God, I realized in that moment that this is not godly and this is the devil's work.
Oh, wow.
And he said the question that he still asked himself is, why did my mother hate her own kids?
Yeah, that's sad.
I don't think any of us can answer that question. That's a very deep question, and unfortunately, the only people who could possibly know that answer are her children themselves. For somebody, a mother, to put your own child in juvie for taking your car, he didn't like crash or anything. He took it to the store with her permission, but he had a stepfather at the time who did not like him, so the stepfather forced the mother to call the cops. However, the mother then went into court and said to prosecute him to the fullest extent, which she did not have to do. And then he went to juvie from like 14 to 17. The worst of the worst happened to him in Tallulah. The only thing they did not do to him was kill him.
Awful.
And then he met his co-defendant in there, who was actually in there for wanting to kill his own family. Joseph gets out with the co-defendant. They obviously formed a relationship because honestly, I feel like it was a trauma bond. When you experience those things in there together as kids and they're best friends, you obviously form a very strong bond. Fortunately, that led to later events that caused him to get 100 years in prison.
As a juvenile?
Yes. So that's like the deep
trauma
with his mother sending him there.
I'm so very curious about his parole eligibility right now. Where is it at?
Yeah, so he is actually eligible very shortly. However, he does have a few more classes to take.
Okay.
So we're not going to apply for it right this second. However, he'll be eligible at the end of the month. We're probably going to wait until next year because we need him to have certain programs complete for the best chance possible.
Okay.
His legal team advised programs done, and then we'll apply for juvenile parole, because juvenile parole, you don't just get a date. You have to apply for it. It's a little different than standard. I told him, I know you would hate to hear this, Joseph, but I really think you should go to a halfway house. Yeah. I'm only 28, and I don't have the skills to figure this out, and they're professionals. They're known in Louisiana for doing this. They have crisis people 24/7, teach them how to get a bank account, take them to Walmart, how to socialize. So I told him that's where you'll be. And they do a minimum of 6 weeks. They can do much longer. And he's like, okay, I'll do 6 weeks. I'm like, okay, well, why don't we see? No rush. So that would be the plan for sure. And then in the meantime, we would have to apply for interstate compact agreement. And if it gets denied, I would move to Louisiana.
What are the chances it gets denied?
I have no idea. Basically, you send his parole info once he's approved to the state you want him in that state, which he does. And then the state has to accept your supervision. I would say one good thing we have going for us, this is not a capital case. It's not first or second degree murder. It's manslaughter, which people are like, oh, what's the difference? There is a difference, surprisingly. One is considered less severe, but still means you took a life in some capacity, which does help him. Fingers crossed for that. But like I said, worst case, if I got to move to Louisiana, then that's what we got to do. And then long term, I believe after 7 years in Louisiana, you can apply to get released from parole, unsupervised parole. And that opens like more doors for you. And then his long-term goal doesn't stop there. He wants to get pardoned.
Oh, wow.
He always talks about it. Like for me, I'm like, it honestly don't matter if you get pardoned or not. We'll figure out the rest.
Being labeled a felon in the US is awful. You're literally labeled everywhere. And anybody that you talk to, unless you have an in, unless you know how you're going to get him a job and you're able to buy a home instead of rent, he's going to be met with continuous blocks to everything. Anybody can Google his name and see the charges. So you're always going to be surrounded by that wherever you go. You could pay for a sweep of the internet That would help.
True.
Felon-friendly employment, felon-friendly housing is near impossible. You're in the ghetto.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I have thought about those things. Worst case, we can always live with my mom.
There you
That
go.
would also include an interstate compact agreement. And I did tell him, look, if we gotta live in the ghetto of Baton Rouge, then we just gotta do it. I don't know what to tell you. I guess you gotta work at the McDonald's. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Until we figure it out. Because he's so focused on being a provider.
Yeah.
And I'm like, take one step at a time.
It's that mentality.
Because he's the type of person, he'll like stress out about this, right?
Nick too.
He thinks to himself, like, how am I going to get out and be like the sole income? And I'm like, let's not even go there right now. Let's just focus on
Nick's
parole.
You were really upset when his parole was pushed back, but now you sound happier that it's delayed a year.
So it was pushed back, we thought, to 2028.
Yeah.
Which obviously was not 2025.
Right.
And now that it was moved to 2026, and I talked to the lawyers about this, and they were straight up, I think if we apply right this second, it's going to be a harder fight.
Okay.
And they said in 2026 will be easier battle because we'll have those programs completed. And they've honestly been very honest with me. We even talked about resentencing. The worst case that could happen was he could get life without parole, and we think the risk is way too high. They have been very truthful. Very honest, never like, oh, if you give us another 10,000, maybe we'll see what could happen. Never like that. Yeah. Very straightforward with me. When they told me about the best chances will be once the programs are completed, I thought about more big picture.
Okay.
It's not 2028, but it's also not 2025. And by that point, he would have completed 26 years. And for me personally, I hope that people just think that's enough time.
Yeah, I hope so too.
It's not like he's going up on parole with 10 years complete. In most states, a life sentence.
Yeah, a lot of states. And he's got that trustee thing. I just feel like if anyone should get it, it's him.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
And, they always have that saying that when you first go up for parole, you get denied no matter what. But all we can do is hope for the best.
Yeah. Every situation's unique. You never know what you're going to come up against.
Yeah, I do hope it's different because this isn't traditional parole, it's juvenile parole, which I have been informed is a different category.
You'll have to keep us updated.
I will.
Thank you so much again. I always love chatting with you. I appreciate you so much. And keep us updated, okay?
I will.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine we get to interview Joseph? Like, I think it would get all the views out of everyone. I think everyone wants to meet Joseph after the
I know, that would be awesome.
Yeah.